Good morning, everybody. This looks sort of like what I was on for about 2 hours last night. And thank God I did that. Taylor called me on Wednesday night and asked me what I was going to be talking about. And of course, now I've just listened to him and he's stolen a bunch of my thunder here. But what I did was, and what I've done is for student vote, I give the kids a chance to do something that they think is important. So I give them an assignment on whatever they feel is the most important thing in regards to student vote and all the things that we cover. So one of the things that one of my kids came up with, Matthew Kuchler, was he thinks we need to change the voting system. And as Taylor just said, it's not going to happen now. The work is going to have to come from, all aspects of our society. Especially, the kids. And I say to the kids on a regular basis, and don't take any offense to this, guys, but I say I give up on my generation and the inactivity and the lack of involvement in politics. So it's totally up to you guys. And that's why I'm here, and that's why you guys are here today, to get involved in this. So I want to go through this as quickly as possible. Taylor covered a lot of stuff, but this is Matthew's work. It's an assignment for him, a PowerPoint presentation that I helped him out with. I just helped him out with it. And thank you for doing the work, Matthew. This is being filmed, right? Thanks, Matt. Okay, here we go. Is our voting system democratic? And I think most people would safely say no. And I'm gonna go through why here. Now this is Matthew. I gave him the assignment to say, Matt, what do you think of democracy? What's the definition of democracy? What's the most important thing? This is what he came up with. Majority rule, which means you need what? 51%, over 50%, right? Thank you. Okay, pretty simple stuff, okay? This is his source, okay? So he went through a whole bunch of things and he picked this out. And I think this is, for me too, it's baseline. If you don't have 50% of the vote, and I'll talk about that later, really, you don't have a democracy. Okay, what two political parties have ever been in power in Canada federally? Can anybody not answer this question? That's why you're here. There we go. Okay? So since 1867, those two parties have been in power. All right? Now, of course, there was a gentleman here last night that used to be an NDP and was in power and made lots of friends, right? But what is the likelihood of the NDP forming a government? Let's just be honest right now. Okay, so political education, obviously paramount, right? Absolutely. Teachers. Where's the closest exit here? Okay, let's face it, guys. How many of you have come in as a new teacher and you're thrusted with the lovely careers in civics course? Okay? And how many of you have been, right, are learned in the political system or what happens in politics? So in fairness to us, a lot of us just haven't had the experience. How many here have actually taken a politics course? Wow. That's a bit of a shock. That's the first time I've seen that many hands come up. Okay? It's not compulsory. The only thing we have is a half-credit course in civics. And you got to jam all this stuff in. And I know one thing, I say thank God for civics. My principal actually asked me to give it up this year. I said, nope, not happening. Okay, the media. This is where most people rely on their information. And if you're from Toronto, and somebody mentions to you the Toronto Star, what party is affiliated with that? The Liberals, yes, exactly. And if you talk about the Globe and Mail, the Conservatives, and then, the Financial Post or whatever. Now, I had the wonderful experience of meeting with Linda McQuaig. I don't know how many of you know her, but read her books. She used to work for the Globe and Mail, right? And if you read her stuff, boy, oh boy, I mean, she did everything. She's involved in everything. She'll tell you exactly where things are at. Your family, right? And I'll tell you, I had a conversation, they'll go unnamed, okay, here, with somebody yesterday afternoon. And I said, why do you vote for the party you vote for? I won't name the party. Well, because my parents did. And I said, well, why? Why would you vote for it? Well, because my parents did. And we talked about it, and we're in the family, and I got involved and stuff like that. I said, okay, well, yeah, so there's your experience, right? So you have to learn and say, okay, well, what's important to you? What's your decision? And what can you tell your folks when you've gone to school, learned about student vote, okay? And you can teach your parents about what's really going on. That's what I find exciting anyways. And students and, of course, youth vote. Now, like I said, I hearken back to what I said earlier, and no offense, but I've given up on this generation, right? Except for look at you people in here, right? That might be, at my age and say, wow, like there's just stubborn, just a total lack of and refusal to change and look at other options. And I had a conversation with my brother the other day, and he said, Bryce, in your lifetime, the voting system is not going to change. And I said, Chuck, well, why are you so insistent upon that? I find that very, disheartening. And he says, well, the thing is, we've become comfortable with our voting system. We're used to it. And I said, well, I don't think that's typically Canadian. I think we can look at this and say, and the youth, our students, and that's where we're responsible, right? So we got to do the job. Okay, the current system. FPTP, plurality vote. Anybody not know what that means? Okay, it's like a horse race, right? Whoever gets the most votes, right? Okay, which again does not meet the criteria, Matthew's criteria of majority rule. Okay, this is Matthew's, not mine. And I promised Matt I would not take this out. Wow. Am I okay with this on film, Taylor? Oh, boy. Now, there is one thing about this, and people who know me, Conrad, they know who I vote for. And when the kids ask me, I unabashedly say, I don't lie to them. Because there's a phrase I use about what's going on in our education system. And hopefully nobody from the DSP is listening to this. I got in trouble for it anyways, but I said, we're in a system of mushroom politics. Anybody? Yeah. We're fed and kept in the dark. Okay? So, yeah, use it. It's great. Kids love it. Okay? And especially with my type there, the flowery languages on a regular basis. So, if you look at this, right, I mean, you can go down the list and, a lot of corruption. That's great. I mean, do we have to mention names? No. Really regressive. Now, again, this is his point of view. Now, Turley right wing. That was very interesting, and I asked him about that. And he said he looked at the economic platform, right? And it is. It's quite conservative. And then better deal with the NDP, right? Now, usually on this ballot, there should be one more spot, and maybe many more, right? But the reason this is up here is just to show you. Any one of you could pick, right? Let's say somebody votes for really regressive, okay? And really regressive at the end of the night wins. What's the average in ridings across Canada that the candidates win with? Anybody know? Sorry? Yeah, 35 to 37%, okay? I have the unfortunate circumstance of living in a riding that the gentleman there finished like fourth. He had the fourth most votes in Canada in the constituency, and he had 55% of the votes. And 55%, and he was fourth highest. So how many seats are there? 308, right? Wow. So you get skewed results, okay? So somebody's going to win with 35, 36, 34, whatever. And we're all brilliant mathematicians here. We can all teach grade 9 math anyways. That means that if somebody wins with 35% of the vote, 65% of the people did not vote for that person. How much time have I got? Okay, here we go. Right, exactly. Okay, so there you go. Very good, right? Don't be shy, guys, if you have comments, please. I'm in a bit of a hurry now, though. Okay, so everybody knows what the everybody knows what the Green Party. Okay, I mean it's disgusting, really. No Elizabeth May for one. Okay, and they were upwards of around 10% of the vote, and they're getting no seats, no representation. Okay. Conservatives in this Toronto area, they get about what, 20 to 25% in Toronto, and nothing. They get nothing. The NDP, okay? What did they get? How many seats did they have? 34. They should have had around 60, okay? If we had a proper voting system. The Bloc, okay? Everybody knows what's going on with that. And some people really can't stand the fact that they're involved in a federal election. Now, if you have first past the post and you have a two-party system, it absolutely works. Absolutely. Okay? Because somebody's going to get over 50% of the vote. Okay, so here's some of the proponents of change. The history aspect, if you want to teach this in history, okay, you can talk about the rise of populist parties. And, you know, all the way through from the mid-teens, okay, and up to recently, you know, with the growth of the Bloc, the PQ, all that stuff. And, you know, many people think of like the CCF coming out of the Depression, and, you know, that's where the people finally started to challenge government. Fair Vote Canada. I don't know if anybody's a member here. Okay, yes, I am too, but I have real troubles with it because they want to keep the components of the first past the post. The Law Commission of Canada. So this was a commission that was sanctioned to do something about it, and they said do something about it, and nothing's happened. And as Taylor had said, the BC and Ontario referenda. Now, in BC, what did they get? Does anybody know? 59%. They got 59%. The government that told them that that's not enough got 38% of the vote. Now, this is Sarah's ballot. It's a mixed preferential ballot and proportional representation, okay? How much have I got? 30 seconds? Okay, let's go through this quick. Sarah was a student of mine, and she came up with this, and I use it now as a exemplar, okay? So here's what she designed. A preferential ballot, and then you choose one party. And at the end of the night with the party choice, whatever they get, so if the Green get 10% of the vote, they're going to get 10% of the seats. Okay? I can't get into all the mathematics of it right now because Taylor's going to come up and kill me. Thank you, Matthew. That was lovely. Okay, so there's poor voter awareness, lack of media support, because the Liberals and the Conservatives absolutely do not want the system to change. That's just point blank. It's very obvious. On March 8th, they turned down the vote in the House of Commons. They killed it. Okay? International Women's Day, by the way. And it serves the status quo. And then questions, comments, which we don't have time for. Okay, and I've got one more slide. Oh yes, check this out too. If you haven't done this yet, you're going to turn out a Liberal, but the reason you are is because they don't have the Liberals on the right side of the spectrum. Oh, what the hell is that? And that's Taylor and Lindsay, two wonderful people that I've known for 9 years. Thank you.